just beat the play clock. Tannehill, pressure. Oh, he goes down. Frank Clark got him. And this game is over. And so is the 50-year drought between Super Bowls. Kansas City waited all year, lost.
Well, Chiefs Nation, that's what happened last time the Tennessee Titans visited Arrowhead. Can they have the same success in trying to stop Derrick Henry in this matchup versus the Tennessee Titans?
65 toss power trap. That might pop wide open, Rats.
Welcome in TPT Nation. I'm about to give you my takeaways, what the Chiefs need to do to beat the Titans, because Derrick Henry and company are coming to town. Yes, there will be no A.J. Brown, but let's remember it is still Derrick Henry. And what he just did to the Houston Texans, let's hope he does not do that to the Kansas City Chiefs. So with that being said, let's get right into it. And the first thing I want to talk about today, and of course, is Derrick Henry, like we're talking about. Derrick Henry is probably a future first ballot Hall of Famer, absolute stud, maybe the best back in the league, arguably the best back in the league. I mean, what he just did to the Texans was incredible. I think he's third. He's the third most 200-yard games all time. Absolute stud. He had 2 touchdowns over 200 yards versus the Houston Texans, and the Titans, yeah, they haven't beat the best teams coming up late, but one thing's for sure is they do play the Kansas City Chiefs very, very tough. And there'll be no Frank Clark, and we know that he's not the best rushing the passer of late, especially on the Chiefs, but he does know how to stuff the run and stop the run. And that is a big part of stopping this Tennessee team, because let's be honest, they don't have a lot of receivers. They don't have receivers. Even their rookie first-round pick, Treylon Burks, he is beat up. So they don't have a lot on offense throwing the ball. I don't even know who their tight end is. I think it's Hooper, Hopper. They don't have a lot at tight end. They really don't. They don't have a lot of receiver. No A.J. Brown, no Corey Davis for the last couple of years. So not too worried about the passing game for the Tennessee Titans. It's going to be stopping the run. So can the Kansas City Chiefs, can Willie Gay and can Nick Bolton, we're going to get more into Willie Gay, but can Nick Bolton and even Darius Harris, Leo Chanel, can those guys stop Derrick Henry? Can they get up early too? We're going to have to talk about the offense and getting up early as well, but can they stop the run? We know that the Chiefs have not been able to stop the run as of the last 2 to 3 games. Josh Jacobs had a good game. Singletary had a good game. Christian McCaffrey had a slightly good game. He started to get going, but wasn't able to take off because the Chiefs were take a lead. So I think they're going to have to be able to. They have to stop Derrick Henry. If you can cut the water off with Derrick Henry, I have no confidence. I don't really know yet if they have Ryan Tannehill, and maybe Malik Willis. And if it's Malik Willis, I'll have the Chiefs covering this game. They have them at 12 points already, winning the game by 12. So I'm like, wow, that's a lot of points for the Chiefs winning the game by. I don't know if they cover that. So if you're a betting person, you're listening to this, I don't know if the Chiefs do that. I think the Chiefs will win. We'll get more into that, what my scoring prediction is. But I think the Chiefs will win. But the first line of business, of course, is stopping the run. So that's my first takeaway. My second takeaway, and something I wanted to talk about, is for a lot of people who think that the Tennessee Titans, yeah, they don't have the receivers, they don't maybe have the offense they used to, but their defense, especially their defensive line, I'm going to get in their secondary, but their defensive line is just as good. They have a very, very good defensive line. And I would like us to see us get it going, running the ball more and more. Of course, I say this each week, but running the ball, more Pacheco, more Clyde. Every week I want to see more of that. But if they can run on this Titans defensive line, that's saying something. Their pass rush is good. They have a good line. This offensive line is going to have to be ready to go. They're going to have to be ready to go. Orlando Brown, I think Orlando Brown is starting to play a little bit better. One thing I do want to say about the offensive line, and that's just kind of my second takeaway, is that Orlando Brown did miss some time in the offseason. I think for a lot of people, maybe they thought, well, hey, Orlando Brown, he stinks, he wanted this money. Maybe it was missing some time. So I think Orlando Brown missing some time in the offseason, not being with the guys, maybe not, getting that feel for the guys right away. Maybe had some loose ends on his part and started slow at first. So Orlando Brown, I think, is starting to play a little bit better. But this offensive line has to be ready for this defensive line. They have a very, very good defensive line. And Mike Vrabel is a good coach. Like, they're the second seed right now. So, Mike Vrabel is carrying his team and coaching and scheming up some good things for the Titans. So don't think this is just going to be a cakewalk, Chiefs fans, because the Titans may be a little down and Derrick Henry lost somewhat of a step of what he was, but he's still a very, very good back. So don't take this team lightly. You can't take this Titans team lightly. They have a very, very good defensive line. So the offensive line has to be ready for that. So now we're going to talk about the news that broke last week is bringing in Kadarius Toney. The Chiefs brought in Kadarius Toney. I like the pickup. I think he's a good player, speedy player. He can move like none other guys can really move in this league. The closest guy I can think of is a former Chief and himself, Tyreek Hill. He has that type of speed, and I really mean that. I usually don't compare people to Tyreek Hill because he's that fast, but he does have that type of burst, agility, and quickness like a Tyreek Hill. Let's see if he can return punts. We don't know if he's going to return punts or kicks. He said he'll love to do it. He did a little bit at Florida. Kadarius Toney, very good player, speedster. We'll see how much they use him versus the Titans. You don't want to overwhelm a guy, so we'll see how much they use him versus the Titans. But I like the pickup. They really only gave up a 6th-round pick and a 3rd-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. So they picked him up. In other news, they also traded Rashad Fenton for a 7th-round pick, and that cleared up $1.4 million in cap space. That looks like maybe it's a deal where if they want to go get a guy that is released or a guy that is waived, or if they even want to still go get OBJ, still think that's a possibility where they get OBJ. Yeah, the wide receiver room would be a little crowded, but I still think that's a possibility because, again, you don't know what wide receivers will be on your team next year, so that could be a futures deal as well. And OBJ is a great player, so I could see OBJ definitely being an option for this Chiefs team. But we'll see how much they use Kadarius Toney versus this game versus the Titans. Bringing in my 4th takeaway, the wide receivers. Juju, MVS, Sky Moore, Watson, all you guys, even Kadarius Toney, if he gets a chance. You guys should have a field day versus this Titans secondary. They don't have a good secondary. They give up the most points to wide receivers per game in the NFL. They don't have a good secondary at all. So I think this is a game for Patrick Mahomes to light them up. If the offensive line can give Patrick Mahomes time, Lord have mercy on the Titans cornerbacks. Because I think Patrick Mahomes will absolutely light them up. I think Patrick Mahomes will absolutely light them up if he has time. There's not too many teams that could stop Patrick Mahomes if he has time to throw the ball and have a clean pocket. He is going to light your team up. I think Travis Kelce has an absolute day. Absolute day. If you have Travis Kelce in fantasy like I do, I think Travis Kelce has an absolute day. An absolute day versus Titans teams. That's something to look out is the Chiefs exploiting this Titans secondary. They do not have a great secondary. They need to go after this secondary. And for my 5th take, something I feel like we talk about each and every week is the pass rush. A lot of Chiefs fans were worried in the trade deadline. We did not go get a pass rush. That's okay. You did not have to overpay like a guy like Josh Allen, Montez Sweat, or many other guys that were on the list to maybe get traded to the Chiefs. There's still some options out there. If guys get released late in the season, you can go pick up. There's going to be veterans that get let go, that teams are saying, hey, you know what, we're going to let you go. We don't, think we're going to bring you back next year. So there are options like that. Don't freak out. This is a game where George Karlaftis is going to have to be good because Frank Clark will not be there. He is suspended for the next 4 games due to gun charges a couple years ago. 3 games, something like that, 2 to 3 games. So Frank Clark will be suspended. So it's a game. Frank Clark, Mike Dana is back. So let's see if those guys can get going. We want to see those guys get going. The only guy that has got going on this defensive line is Chris Jones. Chris Jones has probably been the best defensive lineman, or D-tackle, I should say, in the league this year. Maybe Aaron Donald, but still, even Aaron Donald hasn't been doing what Chris Jones is doing. Chris Jones has been playing absolutely amazing right now. I would love to just see other guys get going this game. The Titans have a mediocre offensive line. It's not phenomenal, but it's not great. Malik Willis will run on you if Malik Willis plays. Derrick Henry is pretty mobile too. So we'll see if they can bring those two guys down. I would love to see the rookie George Karlaftis get after it this weekend versus the Titans. So there you have it, folks. Those are some of my takeaways, my 5 takeaways. Now I'm about to give you my 3 players to watch, since we can't give out any game balls because it was the bye week. But my 3 players to watch, I'm going to call out George Karlaftis. Also, I'm going to say Juju Smith-Schuster, because I think Juju, again, I talked about how this could be a big game for him again. Juju Smith-Schuster. And I would also like to see a guy like Joshua Williams have another good game. They don't have great wide receivers. Like to see him clamp up these wide receivers. And also, guy in honorable mention I want to say is a guy like Darius Harris and even Willie Gay or Nick Bolton. I know I kind of gave a couple players there, but those are some of the guys you should watch on Sunday's game. Well, folks, that'll do it for today's episode. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share, because we're giving away that bad boy at 50 subscribers. Make sure you guys go also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We all have that there. And also go check out Jaden's jerseys for awesome jerseys like that. We will see you guys on Tuesday to recap this Titans game. We will be posting more shorts during the week so you guys can keep up with the latest Chiefs news and more videos during the week. Go Chiefs, guys. Everyone, have a good weekend.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell to see our videos each week.